Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll get going here. Uh, it's right about the top of the hour, and I'd like to get going on time and stay on schedule. So we're going to do our scout best to do so. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Bill Dunford. I'm the district commissioner for Wasatch Peaks, and and happy to host the council roundtable for this session. I've got a lot of great guest speakers who've agreed to help me out with this and bring some new insights and information to you. So if you see the council roundtable agenda that was published. There's a breakout on shooting sports, one for district maps and how the districts, kind of distributed throughout the council. We're having a speaker on Cub Day Camp for you Cubbies out there, and also growing order of the arrow. So, trying to get your scouts aligned with OA. So all good subjects, timely subjects. Well, those breakouts will last about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll have a little bit of feedback, a little start, stop, continue. I love to do that. Give everybody a chance to say thank you to those who presented, and maybe bring some little feedback and what we can do better or what we should keep doing. And then hopefully I'll be able to get Mr. Sutherland on the line if he's available to do a commissioner minute and wrap things up. So with all that said, first of all, I'd like to get started with our opening ceremony. We'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Scout Oath and Scout Law. And for those who are in uniform or not, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Scout sign. We'll start with the oath. On my honor, I promise to do my best, to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And the Scout law. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Two, thank you all for joining and helping me with the opening ceremony. Gavin Maines has agreed to give us a safety minute and a membership minute. So Gavin, we'll turn it over to you.
Well, great. For the safety minute, I chose to talk about climbing safety, rock climbing safety. There's two reasons I chose to talk about that. One, I was on staff in 1993 and 1997 National Jamborees at the rappelling wall. So it goes back to the what's changed and what's different. So reading that today, one of the most interesting parts about that, and I won't cover the whole thing, the website is very helpful on talking about safety moments. But when you're talking about the challenges of climbing and rappelling or those fear of heights, everything that deals with that, even the climbing merit badge. The general information, general qualifications are qualified supervision, qualified instructors, the physical fitness of all the participants, the safety area. That's a big thing in climbing. Your fall zone is a big concept. The equipment, having the proper equipment, making sure it's modern. I can show you my trad set from the 90s. We don't climb on it anymore. We just called it climbing back then. Now they call it traditional climbing. Planning, figure out what you're going to do. Environmental conditions, is it wet? If you go to Moab and it just rained, it's not good to climb because you'll rip the rock off pretty easily. And then also discipline. It's one of those few things where I would totally agree that Cubs should never do this in an outdoor setting because they run around and they've got to stay out of the area. But the most interesting part I found in the purpose I chose, this is my safety moment, is this concept of challenge by choice. And so this concept of practice challenge by choice, which is a concept that allows individuals to choose a level at which they want to participate in the various climbing activities without being pressured or coerced by the group and without having to justify their choice. So there's a lot of decisions that go into that. And I really like that challenge by choice concept. That'll be something that I'll be using kind of going forward. So that'll be the end of my safety minute. And I'll move right into my membership minute. And when I asked the council about what the membership minute should be about, I discussed with the council, and they said, well, "Why don't you talk about what you're doing?" I'm like, "Okay, that's super interesting." So on Saturday, we're going out to Camas to the market, which they have every once in a while, to try to found a new cubbing unit out there. Cubbing took a big hit after COVID. They had an active Cub Scout troop out there prior to 2019, and then COVID happened, and putting a bunch of kindergartner through fifth graders in a room 6 feet apart just didn't work during COVID. And so we're kind of seeing that rebirth. In fact, one of the packs over here in our district up in Park City had 9 AOLs graduate into the troop, and that's the first big graduation from the cubbing to the troop here, Troop 72, that's happened since COVID has occurred. So we're going out to Camas and we're looking for the key three. We're trying to find who are the leaders that want to start this up. And then we also have an organization that we started over here in the Wasatch Back to help support that organization and getting started. So the membership minute is really talking about how can we get more Cubs, because Cubs help us build stronger troops. And the family Cub and the family pack concept is working really well for us over here. Bill, I hope I satisfied you, and I'll be quiet now. Thank you.
Yeah, Evan, you did awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. What I'd like to do now is just go through some general information and some events and dates. So I got a lot of guest speakers, some of whom have joined, some may not have. So I'm going to start at the top here with Sea Scouts. Ahoy, right? Hey, well, no, we don't live by the ocean, but it doesn't mean we can't have Sea Scouts here. We've got within the council, we have 3 active ships, and I'm really looking and motivated to try to build that up to 4 ships here in the Sandy Murray area if I can do so. So I'm starting to work on that with a scuba focus, but you can be any kind of water sport. And I don't know if Dawn joined us or not. It doesn't look
Yeah,
like. Oh, are you on, Dawn?
yeah, Sea Scout
Well,
Universal.
well, awesome. Well, take it away. Just a few moments about Sea Scouts and what's great about
Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, Bill just said, yes, we have 3 active units. He's looking at hopefully starting another one. We had a 4th one in Provo that unfortunately was not able to recharter, but if they get enough interested youth, they will recharter again. For those of you who aren't familiar with Sea Scouts, we do everything in, on, around, and under the water. The units that we do have are open to working with packs and troops and even venture crews on aquatic a day or an overnight, working on adventures, working on skills, working on badges. Similar to ventures, we go from 14 to 21. You can be active in your troop. If you've already made at least first class, you can continue working on Eagle with Sea Scouts. There are 4 ranks. The top one, quartermaster, is the equivalent of Eagle, just not as well known. And some of the activities our units here have done fairly recently. Joined the ship from Lake Havasu down in Arizona to go scuba diving in the Sea of Cortez. Scuba diving off Catalina in Southern California. Going with the Transatlantic Council to their spring camporee at Normandy Beach, and then going from there to both Gilwell and Brownsea. Another unit went to San Francisco, stayed a night on a World War II submarine, another night on a World War II Liberty ship, another night on a World War II aircraft carrier, sailed around San Francisco Bay out under the gate onto the Pacific. We do have, okay, Sea Badge is similar to Wood Badge, but very aquatic oriented. And we have a partnership with the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. They are open to coming in and doing safety with your units. They also offer public ones that we're welcome to join. And something coming up, Utah Lake, the Provo ship worked with Jim Daniels down there, and they did small boat sailing around the inner harbor. People would wait in line for 20, 30 minutes in the sun with no shade. Since that Provo unit is no longer there, Jim's looking for older scouts who've had some small boat sailing experience to continue the sailing. And he also offers a free program for sailing for youth groups, including scouts. The older scouts can go out on the sunfish. Younger scouts, the younger cubs, need to have adults with them. He has 6, and depending on the size of the people, 4 to 6 people on each.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. Awesome. Let's move on to Philmont, a little pitch for the troop, Alvin.
How you guys doing?
Awesome.
You notice where I'm at, right? Anybody recognize that big rock behind me? It's a very important place at home. But Philmont's got quite a bit of a big adventure this year. This is the 75th anniversary of the Philmont Training Center. And in June, they're going to have a big party there. But all summer long, they're having a big party. There's a lot of things going on for families. They got family adventures. They got scout adventures. They've opened up a new program for the younger scouts to get a little taste of what it is to go on a trek at Philmont. It's not the regular trek that the other boys would go, but they get a taste of Philmont. So it gets them activity and thinking about coming back. One of the greatest things they have there, and I think it's for all your scouts that have gone through NYLT, is a course called NAIL. It's a National Advanced Youth Leadership Experience. It's not a training, it's an experience where they do what they learned at NYLT and practice it. Just like you have gone to a Wood Badge, there's a course down there also called PLC, which is called the Philmont Leadership Challenge. It's where you get to practice, put into practice what you've learned at Wood Badge. So there's a lot of great things going down there, and they have a lot of fun for the whole family. So just think about having a great time and a great summer. And if you don't know what HOME stands for, we spell out capital H, capital O, M, capital E. Anyone know what that is? That's heaven on earth. And that's just what it is down there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alvin. Appreciate it. Next one is talking about our camporee coming up May 9th and 10th. AJ, would you like to join?
So May 9th and 10th, we will be at Camp Tracy Wigwam. It is a well-loved camp, but it's showing its overuse perhaps. And as we know, there are a lot of winter downed branches and other related things. So we will principally be limbing up the tree branches to a height of 6 or 7 feet so that people can walk safely underneath. Hand tools for the most part. Those who have chainsaws, BSA has, and as does Camp Tracy, specific requirements. If you are planning on using a chainsaw, gas or electric, you need to have the proper safety equipment, which includes the helmet and visor and the chainsaw chaps, good leather boots and gloves. There are a few pair of those available at Camp Tracy. I'm not sure if the number is 2 or 3 or what. They can be worn. We also need to review the chainsaw safety facilitator's guide, which can be found. Actually, let's see, I'll put that connection in the chat.
Thank you,
There it
AJ.
goes. That guide is 169 pages long, so we need to start reviewing it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, hand powered tools will be great, pole saws and the like. A couple of other things going on. There will be weed removal near or around the lake, which has been dredged, principally the Phragmites and cattails. So those that have fishing waders and things would be helpful. Also, those that have carpentry skills, we'd like to hang 1 to 2 doors in the cement storage building that may require some trimming and shimming to hang those things. But and also, if anyone has familiarity or use running a chipper, that would be helpful. So this will be a good time. Wheelbarrows to move things, kids with safety gear, but no climbing of trees, no felling of trees. And then we just really need to be careful. So this is a fun experience, but a safe experience.
Excellent. Excellent. Appreciate that. Okay, let's move on to the Utah Independent Living Center. Jeff, would you like to give a couple minutes talk on what we're doing there, Mr. Applegate?
Happy to. So Utah Independent Living Center. This is a this is a Wasatch Peaks District initiative, but it certainly is something that any district can do. In discussing our membership and where we're at with youth and adult membership, is our district committee did realize that we have an area where we can expand the friendliness of scouting and the community of scouting to our adults with disabilities. So we've partnered up with the Utah Independent Living Center to run a Pinewood Derby at their location. They've been a fantastic partner, very enthusiastic. So all of you out in your districts, if you were thinking about like, hey, where's some areas that we can grow scouting and we can be doing some good work, consider your special needs communities. They are a fantastic area for spreading the good word of scouting and how friendly, courteous, and kind the program is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. So we got some IOLS and Blue training coming up. Kathy, you want to talk about that? And hopefully she's on here. Maybe not. We have Blue and IOLS going up at Camp Tracy. It's not actually being run by our district. It's being run by Ochre Mountain District, but it is April 18, 19. And so you got a little bit of time, but not much to get your adults who need those trainings signed up. And I highly encourage that.
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
I'm on staff with that IOS, and we had a meeting
Oh,
last week, and
great.
we're really moving along. It's going to be a great opportunity for everyone to come up, and we hope to
That's
see a
awesome.
lot.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, besides the fact that you got to have at least one in your unit who's got that training, it's good for all the adults just to get with the program and understand some best practices for running it. So appreciate you working on that. All right, Coverama is coming up toward the end of the summer. So Coverama, this is a great idea. Elizabeth conceived this. It is bringing together all of the Cub packs in our district for a massive event at Sugar House Park. As basically a, hey, we're still here, we're still massive, and come and join us because we're having fun recruiting event. So we may get individuals join individual units. We may get enough traction that we can start some new packs if we get enough interest and enough adults who get interested. So I think it's a fantastic idea. We're getting a ton of support from all of the Cub units and others. So I think it's just going to be great. September 6th is that solid now, Jeff Applegate, or is that still tentative?
Still shoring up the date with the park district. That's their application process is a little more lengthy than we anticipated.
Okay. All right. Well, that's where we're headed. Okay. And for the last, I'd like to turn it over to Kevin to talk about the Jamboree South Troop.
Actually, Bill, I'll introduce if that's all right. I'm
That's
Jeremy
great.
Robertson. I'm the contingent leader for the council, and we've actually got all three of our units on. We're going to respect the amount of time that we were allowed, but wanted to make sure
Appreciate
that
it.
everyone knows. We have a North Troop, a South Troop, at least half a unit of female scouts, we anticipate. And then Liz Miller's on with us, who will be taking Venture Crew, half a Venture Crew as well. So Stuart Wood is the North Troop. He'll lead out and tell you a little about what his plan is. Kevin's going to take 2 minutes to talk about the South Troop, and then round out with Liz talking about the Ventures. I do have one additional piece of information that I'll throw in the chat. I see Jeremy Bell on the meeting. He was awesome and had Rob Piper and myself on his much anticipated and celebrated podcast, Miles of Impact, from the council. So there is I think we ended about 25 minutes podcast of Rob and I talking about the Jamboree and our past experience and what we anticipate for this year. So I'll throw that link in the chat for everyone. Take a minute to look at it and take it away, Stuart.
Good evening, everybody. As Jeremy said, my name is Stuart. I am the chosen leader to lead the North Troop to the Jamboree. We are in full court press to get some youth signed up for the Jamborees, both north part and south part of the state, as well as Ventures. Haven't been able to get out and see as many of you as I would like, but that's our plan. We need to get another, we're looking for at least 36 scouts per troop. We're about halfway there at the moment. Jeremy, I believe, has got our names posted and our contact information. So if we can, hear from you, if you know you have scouts that are interested, love to hear from you tonight.
Kevin and Liz, you got it?
Okay, I'm Kevin Humphrey. Okay, I'm the Scoutmaster for the South Troop. I cover the districts of Oquirrh Mountain, Timpanogos, Silver Sage, and Spanish Trails. So get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. If you've ever dreamed of ziplining across the Summit Bechtel Reserve, skating, climbing walls, having unbelievable water experiences, and meeting hundreds of scouts from across the country, then this adventure is for you. Let me tell you a little bit about my scouting experience. I've been in scouting for more than half a century. I've completed 5 50-mile hikes and completed dozens of hiking trips to peaks over 10,000 feet. I've been a part of 6 different troops over the years, 2 Jamboree troops, and I'm currently with a troop in the Salt Lake Valley. I've had the opportunity to attend the 1993 and 1997 Jamborees at Fort A.P. Hill with my 2 older sons, which were amazing experiences. And now I'll be with my 2 adopted grandchildren, Chase and Summer, in 2026. There'll be ATV, bike riding, unparalleled zip lines to the trees and across the river, an amazing waterfront like you can only imagine. We'll listen to people who are top-notch in their field and amazing night shows. All the activities are top-notch. The NRA will be the sponsor of the shooting sports. They'll have shotguns, black powder, rifle shooting pistols, and long-range rifles. There'll be fantastic climbing and rappelling walls. We'll visit the Liberty Bell, Betsy Ross House, museums, Gettysburg, and see the original Star-Spangled Banner. In Washington, we'll visit the National Air and Space Museum. We'll visit war memorials, and I'll have a chance to honor one of my fellow scouts, of mine who is in my troop, and he's the only Eagle Scout in my troop growing up who died in Vietnam in 1968. One of the best experiences our scouts will forge lifelong friendships and connections with other scouts. They'll meet and connect with scouts from around the country and around the world, and this will create life-changing relationships. And these are the memories that will last a lifetime. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event that will help shape the leaders of the future. Scouts will learn who they are as a scout and as an American, and will celebrate together the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Go to utahscouts.org/jamborees to sign up. And we'd love to visit your troop and answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey guys, it's Liz. Most of you know me. Some of you don't, but I'm Liz. This will be an amazing experience. I just want to say one thing because everybody else has already said it. First of all, I would love to come and talk to your units about the Jamboree. It's amazing to see how scouts change while they attend. But I have a daughter who is now 22 who went to the Jamboree in 2017, and she is still in contact with the young lady she met there. They visit each other, they talk every day, and they would have never met if they hadn't been there. And I have a son who outlook totally changed on history as he walked Gettysburg. So I would just say, let us come and talk to your units. We would love to talk to them and help them have an amazing experience next summer. It'll be not, they won't have anything else to experience like this. So thanks, guys. Give us a call.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We're going to be talking about growing the Order of the Arrow, and most importantly, why we want to grow the Order of the Arrow and how to go about that. So for those that don't know, the Order of the Arrow is Scouting's National Honor Society. We are made up of scouts from all over our council and all over the nation as a whole. And we are a service-dedicated organization. We do a lot of service projects through our events, but we also have a lot of fun and provide our scouts with a lot more opportunities to grow. So why we want to grow the Order of the Arrow, aside from having more scouts, is always more enjoyable for everything we do. It really helps a lot with older youth engagement and retaining those older youth.
Yes.
One of the struggles I see a lot in units that I've been involved with is older scouts kind of fizzling out as they get into high school, whether that be due to classes, girlfriends, extracurricular activities, pulling them 100 different directions. The Order of the Arrow has been a great tool to get them to stay involved. It gives them something that they can go do where they are a little more involved, and it's a lot more youth run than troops are. Here in Utah, Isaac Brower is our lodge chief, and he oversees everything that we do as a lodge as a youth member. Speaking from personal experience, one of the reasons that I stuck around for as long as I did and why I am still around was because of my involvement in the Order of the Arrow. It gave me a place to go where I could meet friends that maybe weren't in my unit. I could meet people that I don't get to see on a daily basis. And it gave me a great opportunities to grow. One story that really keys into how important the Order of the Arrow is in terms of keeping people around was when we ran back into Evan Kuhn. So I know he's on this call, but Evan and I went to the World Jamboree together in 2019 and then never really saw each other after that until an Order of the Arrow event where we saw each other. We got to talking, and then we saw him again at a later event. Because we stayed in touch with that Order of the Arrow event, we roped him back into not only the Order of the Arrow, but our venture crew as well. So it can be a great tool for keeping older youth engaged, bringing them back in to scouting as a whole. And we touched on this briefly, but the Order of the Arrow is almost entirely youth run. We do have our adult advisor, Michael, and we also have our adult staff advisor, Josh Hackey. But other than those two, it's really ran entirely by our youth, even all the way up to the national level. We have a national vice chief who I think this year is around 19. And they are the ones that decide what we do for our events. And they truly get the opportunity to lead and see how leadership grows. We also have a lot of fun events in the Order of the Arrow. I'll touch on our calendar a little bit later, but we do plenty of service projects, but we always make sure that we have our fun events going alongside them. The way I like to describe most of our events is summer camp rolled into 3 days. Oftentimes at our big annual events, we have shooting sports going on, archery. Depending on the camp, we even have a ropes course most of the time. And it gives the kids something fun to do and another scouting event for everybody. But one key factor I'd like to talk about is how Order of the Arrow can help you in your units and why growing the Order of the Arrow can help strengthen everybody's units. One of the primary purposes of the Order of the Arrow is giving service back to the units. We take youth and we train them up, and then in the hopes that they go back to their units and return that service and be strong leaders for their units. So whether or not that's them participating in our events and gaining more leadership skills through that, or other ways the Order of the Arrow can help your units. Yesterday, I stopped by a troop that is in my Order of the Arrow chapter and visited with them, and they asked me for some help tracking down some historical items that one of their older adult leaders was involved in, and I'm working with them to get that piece of history back to them so that they can show it to their boys. And we love to visit units outside of unit elections. If units need help running an activity, or if they need some sort of guest instructor for a merit badge, reach out to your chapter advisor for your area. And we would love to provide any resources that we can for the units, because without our units, there's nothing for the OA to build off of. So a little bit on how to grow the OA. The primary way is through unit elections. Hopefully, everyone has been contacted by their chapter advisor and their youth chapter chief by now, as we're getting into our election season. But if you haven't, your chapter advisor and your chapter chief should be reaching out to you and asking when they can schedule a unit election and a unit visit. This is where we elect new members. It's a great way to kind of fill some space if you or your youth leaders and your troop need a break from planning a full meeting. We can step in, run a little game, and hold our unit elections and take some of that pressure of running the meeting off of you guys for a moment. The youth in your unit will elect those that are eligible, and then we will send them information regarding the upcoming ordeal. But unit elections is not the end-all be-all for growing the OA. What we want to prove is that we are a lot more than just getting a fancy sash and another fancy patch on your uniform, which is something that has historically been a problem with the Order of the Arrow. So with that, we want to see more kids going to our ordeals and our events as a whole. So their membership is not considered to be complete until they've completed their ordeal. And it's very important that we get them to our ordeal. I know in my unit, we've been electing the same kids for the last 5 years, but they haven't gone to their ordeal. So that is something that we are working on, is making sure our boys get to their ordeals. And for those of you in my district, I've been sending out emails regarding whether or not you've got any scouts that are eligible to be inducted and are just needing to go through their ordeal, along with those that are eligible for brotherhood. And getting them to attend chapter and lodge events. I know for a lot of our kids and a lot of our adults, we all have very, very busy lives, and most of us wear multiple hats in scouting. Our goal with chapter activities is one a month. That way we're not competing against anybody else's time, but we're still able to provide a fun and engaging activity for units. The lodge holds a variety of events across the year, and we'll touch more on those later, but attending those events gives the youth a great opportunity to learn new things and meet new friends. To be elected in the Order of the Arrow, the scout needs to be first class rank. They need to have 15 nights of camping, and they are elected by a majority of their peers. One thing with the elections that we run into a lot, problem-wise, is them only electing one boy. As many eligible scouts can be elected as there are. So it's not picking the very best out of your troop to be elected and they're the only one that gets elected. If there's 5 scouts eligible and 5 scouts run to be in the Order of the Arrow, all 5 scouts can be elected. For adults, the process is a little bit different, so I would direct you to talk to your chapter advisor, and they'll be able to get you pointed in the right direction. But looking at our upcoming events, 2 weeks from now, we have our LLD and Lodge Banquet. LLD is our leadership development. We provide a lot of different leadership opportunities for venture scouts. Historically, we include 1 or 2 of those required trainings that they need for rank advancement, so they can get them done there. But LLD is a great time to develop those leadership skills, and most of our classes are taught by youth teaching other youth. Banquet is our lodge award ceremony. It's where we give out all of our lodge awards and recognize those that have been nominated to receive their vigil. The ordeals is when they go through and earn their sash and cement their membership in the OA. Our first one is at Camp Typhi, June 13th and 14th. I know a lot of people go down there that have already gone through their ordeal, so if you run into the issues of scouts needing rides, please reach out to your chapter advisor and your chapter chief, and I'm sure people are more than willing to give scouts rides down. Ashkuta and Balashupe, that is going to be June 23rd through 28th. This will be the first time since 2022, I want to say, that we've held Balashupe. Who remembers Coup Trail from Great Salt Lake? Okay, so Balashupe is, I personally haven't attended. This year will be my first year attending, so I can't speak from experience, but it is similar to Coup Trail in that it is a 4 to 5 day camp where we develop leadership skills and focus a lot on the OA traditions and so forth. And Ashkuta is our midsummer activity. It's a typically 4-day weekend where we've got a bunch of different activities, arts and crafts for them to go through. And we have the ability of doing an original ordeal ceremony every year at our Ashkuta, which is a wonderful experience for those that haven't seen it. This year, the 2 events are combined, so it takes up about 5 days this year, and I highly encourage everyone to go. For those of you that are into patch collecting, the Balashupe patch is the hardest one to get out of everything that the lodge has made, and it is the same patch this year.
Sage,
Yep.
Salmon, Coup Trail is basically the same thing NYLT is, except it is more oriented towards the Order of the Arrow.
Yeah, so that's how Coup Trail was in Great Salt Lake. I know they've made a lot of changes to make it much more OA specific and kind of leave the NYLT specific stuff to the NYLT courses, but it is still a very valuable leadership experience for Order of the Arrow youth and adults. Adults are welcome to attend as participants. We'll have another ordeal towards the end of August down at Maple Dell. So for those of you that can't make the June ordeal or have youth that can't make it, we do have another opportunity along with another one towards the end of September. Fall Fellowship is our big annual gathering. We get everybody together. Normally it's down at Maple Dell. And this is really a big 3-day party that we have as a lodge. We have, again, shooting sports, archery, ropes courses, craft courses. We normally offer a couple different merit badges. I taught first aid last year at ours. And that is also where we elect our youth leaders for the year. All this information can be seen on our lodge website. So if you go lodge website, this is the lodge website. It's just utahoa.org. And from here, if you just scroll straight down, you can see our calendar and any upcoming events. For some of you, and ideally everyone in the long run, your chapter events will also be on this calendar. I know Wasatch Peaks. We are working on getting our calendar up there. It's been emailed out to everybody. We're just working on getting it published on the website. But this is where you go to register for all of the events. And for those of you that haven't paid your dues, if you haven't been getting emails in the last year, if you didn't get our nice new lodge dues flap, this is also where you go to pay your lodge dues. Does anyone have any questions regarding the Order of the Arrow or how we can benefit your units? I saw one hand. Sorry, one moment. Ben.
Yeah, I was just curious. I joined OA in about 1986, 87 in Alabama, and then re-upped 5 or 6 years ago in Kentucky. I have not transferred my OA membership to Utah. Where do I need to go to get that transferred over?
Let's take a look. I believe there is a section in the dues where, yeah, so if you click on pay the dues on the lodge website, you can go in, fill out all of your information, and then down here it'll ask if you are transferring into the lodge, and you can click yes, and it asks for all of your information, and that should get you added to our system. All right, any other questions? I think we've got about 4 minutes left.
Sage, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm a unit commissioner, okay, and I have one unit where none of the adult leaders, okay, are in order, in the Order of the Arrow, and they never talk about the Order of the Arrow. They never have any elections. And when you talk with them about it, it's like, well, we've heard about it before, but we're really not interested. And I'm talking about a whole unit of, like there's like 30 some youth, okay, in this troop. But they don't seem to have any interest at all, okay, in the adult leaders. As I say, they don't have any interest, and they don't allow their boys in to have elections or to do anything. Any suggestions?
Somebody had a bad experience a long time ago, and they think it's going to detract from their unit. And that's the problem. And it's always been the problem.
That is a big fear we get a lot about pulling kids out of units. But like I touched on earlier, it's a great tool for keeping them involved a lot longer than you were going to have them involved when they age out. But does that unit attend their district camporees, and what district are they in?
The district is Timpanogos.
Okay.
Okay. And they attended the Klondike, which is like a sort of camporee.
Okay. Timpanogos, I can speak for. I know they are heavily involved with their district events, whether it's Klondike, camporees. Oftentimes they have the OA youth, the ones running the event. Wasatch Peaks were the same here. And that can be a great time for those adults in those units to see what the OA is without necessarily inviting them to their units. They get to see the OA youth up front and leading the whole camporee. And oftentimes, again, at least in my district, and I'm sure Timpanogos does the same, we do make an effort to talk to all the units that are at the camporee. Because it's a great time. If they're there anyways, we can get them and talk to them. And if they're interested, we can hold a unit election. But I would, hopefully, they're getting enough exposure to the OA at their at their district events, and hopefully that can start to change the mindset. One quick comment. The chapter advisor. The chapters are aligned with the OA districts. You can find the chapter advisors on our OA website. I am the chapter advisor for Wasatch Peaks. And then Conclave. Yes, Conclave is happening this year. It is September 26th through 28th in Colorado somewhere. Our lodge chief will have more information out to us as we get that information from this section. But